Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome guys to another episode of the Cordial Podcast with me, your host Mungai Kang'ong'oi. I am back again with another, 3-part episode series, and we are going to talk about something very serious. But before that, how has been your week? Happy new month to every one of you. This is my birthday month, so episode that anaweza wekea kama kumi hivi. But anyway, happy new month to everyone. I hope your March was just alright. If anyone was working, I hope your days were fine, and I hope you jumped over to the new month with not much stress and all that. My start of the month has been great. I don't have much tea for the week apart from apart from just funny dealings of adulting here and there. Funny enough, I'm recording this on the 6th of April. It is on a Sunday morning because I had to be at work early enough, and I thought it was the perfect time to record an episode because there is not much traffic around where I work. But yesterday, Saturday, the 5th of April, I had a really funny ordeal. So at the start of the month, or just a week before March ended, I was just scrolling through Instagram and I was interested in buying a backpack. I just didn't want to go and buy a mtumba one. Like, I just felt like I should buy, these Dendry bags, the leather bags that have, the tags and they look nice. So I was just looking around, and you know how Instagram just does it for you. You search for one particular product and they give you options and their ads and everything. So I met up with a couple other businesses that deal with creating bags. There's Unleash, there's another one made by I don't know who, but their logo is a yellow M, and then there are others. Like, there are many. I didn't know there are that many. So I looked, but I came back to Unleash, with the double press bags. So I wanted the black one, but I said I would rather go to the shop first and just look if a brown bag will be better than a black bag. So that whole week I had been fantasizing on how, I'm going to buy a new bag on Saturday and all these things. So happy with myself. And they were running, they're still running a sale right now. And I thought, wow, this is just the perfect time to buy a bag. So Saturday came yesterday. So I went to work. So I couldn't, you just go back to that page and you're like, yeah, this is the bag I want. And I'm like, yes, this is what I'm going to get. So I couldn't wait to just get off work at 1 p.m. and just go straight to Nairobi and, get the bag that I wanted and I've been dreaming about. So 1 p.m. came about. I left work, went to Nairobi. Now, here's the funny thing that happened. When I reached Nairobi, I was like, why? I'm sorry, but don't kill me for this. But I got some bit of, I don't know if I should call it anxiety or just me having some fake imposter syndrome. Because I was asking myself, why am I buying this bag? And it's not like I don't have a bag. And what exact purpose will it serve for me to have that kind of bag right now? Well, there is a reason why, which I will reveal later on or in the coming months. But I felt like it was too early for me to buy it, so I should have just waited and saved up a little bit more instead of just spending that money on getting a bag. I had also planned on buying some other clothes, and I'm like, I don't know. There's like a feeling I get whenever I'm spending money, and I'm always like, I don't feel like spending money. I don't know, but I think I'll get the hang of it because I know to some point it's not healthy, because denying yourself some things is just funny and it's not good. So don't be like me. Don't be like me completely. Don't be like me. I really deny myself things even when I know I can just get them. Funny enough, when I cross over, when I make the decision to buy the things finally, I am always happy, So I'm also getting into the adulthood phase of like being able to like afford some things that I want, and I've always wanted to have that feeling, and it's a good feeling to actually do that. So to do that in consistency is something that I'm looking forward to, and hopefully it'll turn out to be good. This is funny because now it looks like this is the whole premises of 5 minutes already. The whole premises of the episodes that I'm about to kickstart. But no, there is a topic. The topic that we are going to discuss for the next 3 episodes, starting with this one, is on healing. We've had this topic of healing from everywhere. Every single day, you will never ever miss out on just some kind of content that talks about healing. People should heal from the childhood traumas, from relationship, from breakups, from divorces, from every single day. I'm sure you always come up with content that talks about healing. And so I decided from my end, because I can say I am on such a path where I am trying to heal a lot of things, including my childhood traumas, as they call it, and and the normal dealings of relationships that happen within my personal life. So I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but for me, when it comes to healing, especially after a breakup now, because we're going to deal mostly on how to navigate grief and self-discovery, when you come up with or when you're faced with breakup. So as I was saying, I don't know if I've ever talked about any kind of breakup, but I think my last one was my last heartbreak was I can't believe I'm even saying this on my mic, because I had kind of said to myself that I will never talk about it, but it's much better to just have the discussion, because right now I think I am at a better state to be talking about it. So my last heartbreak was in around July last year, 2024, and it's funny because it was just a talking stage that of course didn't materialize to move to the next stages. I am very, very good at that. Me and talking stages not working out, I'm professional. You guys, you can check out my my roster. Jabba stories. But yeah, that was a joke. But yeah, funny enough for me, I have never been able to cross over to that side of calling somebody my girlfriend. Probably when I was younger, I think my first love, that was probably in 2018 or 2017, but I think 2017 going into 2018 and 2019 there. So yeah, so since then I think and it was just a short time also for that, but it was the longest, which is like 3 months, 5 months, I don't know. That is kumbuki. But yeah, so since then I've never had like having to sit down and knowing at the back of my mind that there is somebody I know is my girlfriend, or I asked somebody to be my girlfriend. So for me, that has been a really funny ordeal, because I always ask myself, what exactly am I doing wrong? Because why are these things not working out? Why is there only a threshold of like 3 weeks to 4 weeks or 6 weeks of just having a talking stage with somebody, and then it never works out? Like, it's always somebody waiting for you to make a mistake and then leave with that. For you, like for me, I've always had that notion of like, when you're in a talking stage, it's you getting to know somebody. So if they make a mistake, you just extend grace to them. So me, I've always known like that's how I deal with things. I do not, as I said in the last episode, I do not come into talking stages with expectations, because I really just love hearing people out and getting to know them. You may get attached, have feelings and all these things, but sometimes these feelings block your quote unquote logic side, and you really blind yourself to some red flags that, of course, but for me, I don't take them as red flags when it is a talking stage. I think, and this is where the problem comes in with me. For me, I'm always like, if this person knows better or comes into probably the knowledge I have when it comes to a particular matter, then they will see the truth of it, or they will see the dealings of how to just change and become better people. And also for me, I also learn from other people, because I'm not perfect. Of course, I will never be perfect. But, I've always thought that. So that extending of grace has always been one of my main principles. But recently I've been asking myself, why am I extending grace at this particular time? There is that aspect of it. And then there are other people who will give you advice on being like, just flat around with people. Like, you're too young to be stressing about relationships and finding the one, and to some extent, I think that's it's coming. I'm coming to the reality of it, of where for the longest time when I was younger, I didn't want to be in a relationship. I was that kind of a kid who was always afraid of having any dealings with the opposite gender. So I always avoided any conversations that wasn't school-based, study-based with the opposite gender. So the one time where I started flirting with of course, the opposite gender, I don't know even how those days of Facebook, man, me and I checker, because sometimes I go to my Facebook Messenger and I'm like, huyu kijana alikuwa mgani bana, zile mahai na hey nilituma huko. And I think it also taught me, like, hey bro, just deal with people who like you. You don't have to be texting everybody. But that was a deep end of teenage. But yeah, so I'm coming to like getting the gist of it, of how people are working outside here. Like, don't be so fixated on finding the one person. It's crazy. Even for me as a Christian, I'm thinking, hey, that's crazy. You shouldn't be going out, at you're playing with people's mind. But there's an aspect to it that I actually agree with. Why do we at a young age are so in a rush to get this one person that you will love forever? Why? Because it's much better for you to be just outside and get to know people. If somebody flirts with you, flirt back. If somebody talks to you, talk. Like, don't hold yourself back and have this tunnel vision of like finding the one. Because once you get your heartbreaks, my friend, it hits. Talking stage. Like, I'm always in talking stages, and when they end, I'm always asking myself, hey, what is up with these things? Because in my head, I've always had that notion of just finding the one somebody I can grow with and all these things. And I gave the example of like my last heartbreak, and since then, like, it taught me on just being open, just being basically open to having conversations with people. You don't have to rush talking stages. You don't have to proclaim feelings in the first week. All these things. Like, just take your time getting to know people and not rushing into things, or not seeing them as the one person that God has created for you to live together and all these things. Like, just get to know people. Enjoy conversations with different kinds of people. And I know I think I've talked too much, because it's 13 minutes in. I didn't know I was going to talk about my personal things as much. But yeah, as I was talking about, we are basically going to deal with now the whole thing that comes with healing. And for me, I thought it is much better to just give out my perspective to it and my own experience with heartbreaks. And for me, it gives me a big blow, most of the times, and I've only, no, I'm lying to myself. Okay, most of the times, yes. It is not like I have a talking stage every single month. No, I always give myself a threshold of like just liking one person per year. But this year I've decided, no, that's now after just being friends with the opposite gender, and just create friendships that actually matter with the opposite gender, instead of it being always romantic interest. So yeah, that has been a journey I'm being on, and I think it's part of the healing journey that I've been taking, and just getting to know people, which I think is a good way of handling relationships, because being friends with somebody fast and just getting to know them with no pressure of like getting to know each other, no pressure of going out and all these things. Like there's completely no pressure. Just so be friends with people. Then when the time comes, you will find your person and everything will work out. So the episode that we were supposed to delve in will be on the immediate aftermath of a breakup. We will be exploring the emotional turmoil of grief, the importance of self-care, identifying unhealthy coping mechanisms that we get attached to also, and also the power of self-reflection. So as a podcast, as a podcast host and creating this podcast, the Kodo podcast, I'm with this topic. I'm literally just looking for an audience where it's people who've of course experienced breakups, heartbreak, all these things, and people who are just open to supporting people who've gone through a breakup. People who are always ready to be there for somebody, to give them a shoulder to lean on, and just anybody who's interested in the psychology of relationships. I'm not saying I'm an expert to it. I'm not an expert, but from my own experiences, which is why we are here, is why we're talking about healing. So just a little bit of an introduction to this, the aftermath of a breakup. And I'm going to use, of course, myself as the guinea pig here. For me, it always hits me, and I become very emotional when it comes to breakups. When that message comes through, when you start realizing this thing isn't going to work out. I think for me, I get into a very emotional state, and I love being alone. If I cry, I will cry. If I decide to take 50 part goes at one go, I will take. But yeah, I'm always in this state of mind where now thoughts come in, you trying to figure out why exactly is this happening, how you're going to deal with it. And most of the times for me personally, I love going into prayer. And I ask God, jamani, nimekufanyia makosa gani, hizi mambo hazisaidiki. But when you look at it later on, even asking God is funny, because it is you who took yourself to such things. It is you who made the decision to get yourself attached to somebody. You saw red flags and you ignored. Hey, to ignore red flags. Me personally, I am a professional fumbler of just ignoring red flags, which is mad, which is crazy when you actually think about it. So it's actually good to acknowledge that there is pain in heartbreaks, in breakups, and the difficulty of it. That whole experience where you now have to you have a shock, of course, at first, of how you're going to deal with this thing. You asking yourself questions on how you're going to move on, because now your brain is directly right now when you experience a breakup, the first thing is how you ask yourself how you're going to move on, and you start planning your life and get into a routine of like how you're going to break the other routine where you are used to texting somebody in the morning, or even in the middle of the night when you wake up, or all these things, sending TikTok reels, tweets, all these things that you had been accustomed to for however long. Now it's for you to stop them and just create a new routine, which is funny. I always find it funny, because it is much better for you to just continue with how things were, but also finding something to as a coping mechanism that doesn't destroy you even further. So yeah, we first of course acknowledge the pain and difficulty of the experience. Then there's the grief that comes with it. There's, of course, we've talked about self-care that comes with it. And for me, all these things are always fun for me later on. Because when you get that breakup text or call or whatever, the emotions you feel are, it ranges, because there is sadness, there is anger, because you ask yourself, why did you even get close to this person? Why did you make that decision of wanting that person? There's denial, where you're like, nah, this can't be real. When you're having those texts back and forth or during a call, and you're asking them, like, can't we give it another chance? And all these questions that we ask in denial, and it's a lot. And then you get confusion and many other wide range of emotions. And it's funny for me right now. I'm looking back at it and I'm like, it's funny. But when it's at that moment, you actually feel it. You actually feel your heart sink. You start taking deep breaths. I'm like, this kind of things are not really good. So yeah, but it's good to just accept most of the things. So yeah, so that's the first segment of it, understanding and acknowledging the pain and everything that you feel at that point. So it is also good to recognize that there is no right way to grieve, and everybody's timeline is different. Well, it is different, but for me, I have like a principle whereby I always say I give myself 1 or 2 weeks of basically feeling all these emotions, anger, confusion, all these things that I've mentioned. I give myself 1 to 2 weeks of feeling it completely. Then after that, it's me now taking up the role of just moving on, and not wanting to like get myself there. There's always this notion of no contact, which is something that we've adopted as a generation, which is not as good, but you also understand why there needs to be no contact. So for me, I can say I'm fairly good at it, because I never text people back or call them. Me kwanza ikifika, when it's evident that it's done, like everything is done, I just go and delete every evidence. Probably it's not a good coping mechanism, but for me I think it's good, because if I've asked you, like, there's no other chance, like you don't see us working out, I'm like, and you say yes, I'm like, okay, cool, story imeishia hapo, we cannot be friends, no, that's madness to some point. So I delete everything, just not to find myself reminiscing of the good times and reading text again. There was a time I was a hoarder of things. You keep pictures of people and conversations, and you always go back in the middle of the night to read them. I'm like, no. So these days, when it's evident, I delete everything completely. I unfollow, but I don't block. No, I'm not. I am not one person who can advocate for blocking. So no, I don't do blocking. So yeah. So the segment number 2 is on self-care as a foundation of healing. Now, of course, it's good to prioritize your physical and mental health at this juncture, because there are people who jump into things where they're trying to get coping mechanisms to deal with the fact that they're experiencing a breakup. There are people who go to alcohol, there are people who go to drug abuse and all these things. But like for me personally, what I go back to is always God. I don't know, like I always go back to God. Like it becomes more like I spend more time with God than how I would in a normal day, or when your relationship was working out. Like now I emphasize on it more. I do a lot of things, Bible study and all these things, just to find myself back to just a calm state and not do things out of feelings and all these things. Just to, recognizing that it's only one person who can give you the right health, emotional health, mental health, physical health, all these things. So, but it's also good to focus on being mindful of what you are thinking about or what you indulge in when you're experiencing a heartbreak, it is also good to always have meditation. Like for me, I took upon myself, because I am a podcaster, so I do these short quote-unquote therapy sessions where I audio journal and also journaling, just writing things down when I'm in that state, and it's always good. And I also take even walks where if I'm used to, I know the route that I take when I go home. It is either I take a longer route or I walk slowly, just to think of how I'm going to focus on other things and just become better. And that's on the physical health part of it. And when it comes now to the emotional health, what I do mostly is just seeking support from friends. There are, of course, friends who know you're probably talking to somebody. There are people you talk to. So when it ends, you just go back to them and you seek support. And I am grateful to be having friends who actually have the time to listen to me. To listen to me crying and then saying, hey, boy, this is my vitu nifanye. But yeah, so it is also good to like establish new routines, because at times it takes a heartbreak to just start over a new routine that you've always wanted to, what to kind of gym heartbreaks. So that can be really it's a good thing to just go to the gym with heartbreak pain, because it just fuels you to do it. But when it wears off, my friend, you'll find yourself not being in the gym, which is funny. So it's good sometimes to just have positive energy when you're taking up routines like going to the gym. So segment number 3, it is recognizing and avoiding unhealthy coping mechanisms. Now, I think for most people, if you've had self-reflection for yourself, if you've had time to just see how you walk through life and the challenges that come through, you always know the coping mechanisms that you have. Sometimes you're in denial, but you always know. Like for me, I know it's sugar. Like, as I said, like Nezaenda, after a heartbreak, I start taking like 30 particles per day for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And it's always funny because, of course, I love sugar and all these things, but I just recognize it as a coping mechanism, which is unhealthy to some point, because I take a lot of sugar for 30 particles, a lot, and even soda and all these things. But yeah, so of course now there are other coping mechanisms that I have, but all these things, they change with time. When you grow, also you create better and healthy mechanisms where you don't have to probably isolate yourself, that you try to suppress your emotions, you try to look for rebound relationships, you try substance abuse, or excessive social media using, or you're stalking the person. All these things, I will consider them as unhealthy coping mechanisms, especially the stalking thing. I've never done it myself, probably one time where you feel like, let me just go and check, but it's not something that continues. Like I always do it once just to see how the other person is doing, if they're well, I don't know how you can call it, but it's not bad to just go and check up on somebody without texting them and all these things, and not on TikTok where they can see that you visited their profile. No, but yeah, just that one time for you to like and say, yeah, this is the last time I'm doing this. Boom, you can do that, but not the continuous and excessive one. Or even finding rebound relationships. Personally, I've never done that. I don't know how that happens, but I actually, to some point, I understand people who do rebound relationships, because they also know that will end, but it's them trying to get a coping mechanism, which is not good because you're playing with other people's feelings. So personally, I've not experienced it, but I understand people who do that because they are obviously sick in their head. But there are other people who deal with the suppression of emotions. Personally, as I've said, I take 2 weeks to feel everything out. If I want to cry, I will cry. If I want to walk and shout, I will go and do all those things. So it's actually good to always have healthier alternatives when it comes to coping mechanisms, and also creating just strategies when it comes to this, because you're prioritizing your health, whether it's mental, physical, or emotional. You're doing all these things to just become better. Now, segment number 4, as I said, personally, I do journaling and I value self-reflection, especially during that time, and just therapy from, I know there's the professional therapy that people advocate for, which I also advocate for if it gets that serious. It is that serious for you. If the heartbreak is that serious, then go for therapy. But yeah, my personally, my therapy styles are just audio journaling itself by itself, writing down things, and just being there and self-reflecting on how you can be better. You learn from better. Personally, I love looking at how the experience has been, what I can learn from it. I write down what new thing I should carry on if I ever get back out there to date somebody. And I love it because it always sticks to my head, where I know, like, last time I was in such kind of a thing, somebody complained about this, so let me work on it when I come to a new, getting to know somebody. And that for me, I would call it personal growth. And this is how you get to become better. This is how you become an adult, where you just grow from all these things. So yeah, that was part 1 of the episode. I know I've talked a lot. It's been 30 minutes. Oh my god, I have talked a lot. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. I know I've talked more on my personal side of it, and of course I would love to have guests on the show, but that time will come. But yeah, so I would also love to just offer some word of encouragement. These things are becoming normalized, heartbreaks and all these things, however much random they may become. But for me, I would say, like, always be open to just having a healthier way of working out things. Yes, feel the heart, feel all kind of emotions that come in, but don't take a deep dive into unhealthy coping mechanisms where you'll find yourself at a worse state than you are at, especially with substance abuse, man. Like, I pity people who just crash out and go and do things. Sometimes for me crashing out, I think it will be like just talking about that thing until you feel like, wow, imenitoka ama imeniisha. But which is actually, I think it's better than just going and indulging in probably excessive alcohol intake, and you do crazy things, or you find yourself in situations that you would have avoided completely. And it's funny, just get to find healthier ways of dealing with it. So yeah, that has been episode number 1 of this series, where we've talked about the direct aftermath of a breakup. That was part 1 of it. Thank you very much for listening in. This has been me, your host, Mungai Kang'ong'oi. The Coded Podcast is here always for you. Thank you very much for listening in. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed month. Have a blessed day at whatever time you're listening. Thank you very much for listening in. See you on the second part of dealing with breakups and healing. And we will get to know what exactly we are going to, focus on. And I'll just give you a hint. The next part of it, part 2 of it, is talking about reclaiming your power, building resilience and having that self-love, where now you get to understand why you need to take up healing and why that healing process has to be, fruitful in everything that you do. So thank you very much for listening in. See you when you see me. Bye.